So this is going to be a rambling video, and we'll see how it works today. Because apparently some of you like my rambling videos, and so I'll maybe try making sometimes rambling. I enjoy the rambling, actually. I love it because I just talk and get things off my chest. That's my dog moving around. He's my little old dog next to me. If you hear ruffling around, he's trying to sleep. Probably waking him up with my talking. So I was just thinking about how when you have a YouTube channel, it's kind of hard to stick to one topic. You know, usually I think most people on YouTube, I definitely started out this way. Let me move my dog. He's not comfortable. Okay, there he goes. All right. Usually people start out with a YouTube channel and they upload a few personal videos for their friends and family, and they don't really think too much about it. They just think it's kind of cool to have videos on the internet. So that's sort of how I started my previous YouTube channel. Then you sort of, in the case of my other channel, I sort of became known as a sewing channel, because I started uploading some things that interest me, and one of them is sewing and clothing design. I don't have any formal study in that field, but I've just always liked it from back in home ec class where I learned to sew. So I started uploading that mainly for my stepdaughters, and hoping maybe they would watch and perhaps become interested too, because they didn't hack in their school. And it started out like that. I made one or two little sewing videos, very easy. And then people started subscribing to me, just from, I had like 0 subscribers to suddenly, 5, 6 subscribed, like the day I uploaded that video. And then the next day, a few more. And then I did another video, another very simple one. I think it was for hair scrunchie. And more people started subscribing. And then it started snowballing. I started making, it's sort of, we fed off each other, because I would make a sewing video, more people would subscribe, and it was so easy. I was thinking, wow, it was a boost to my ego. If any of you have a few subscribers, you know how it feels. You look at your inbox and someone has subscribed, and you feel flattered. You're like, wow, someone really likes what I have to say. So you start feeding off that. It's like, oh, the more videos I would put up, more people would subscribe. So I the video was sort of my, the sewing tutorials, how-tos were getting me subscribers, and I was feeling good, sort of like, and I started getting into it, and so that's great, and I was having fun, I was enjoying it, and that's when it starts to get interesting. Just, because it's sort of like, okay, now you've become known for doing sewing videos, and then people sort of start to look forward to more videos, and then you feel bad if you don't give them what they'll write to you and these sweet things, and some of them will write mean things too, like you don't know how to sew and what are you doing on YouTube, but for the most part, people would write nice things, and so that, of course, it gets you going. You like it, and then you feel like, well, I want them to keep enjoying, my videos, and so you want to keep uploading more videos, and it goes from there. So on the one hand, you love having these people admire you, but then it sort of becomes, you impose it upon yourself, of course. You feel obligated at that point to continue giving. So I became known as a sew. But then it became a little frustrating too, because occasionally I would want to do something else. I hadn't intended for it to be a sewing channel. And so then sometimes I would want to do something else. But if you now you have all these people subscribed looking forward to your sewing videos, and then you upload a video of your dog or something, and then they get disappointed, and they're very polite. At least in my case, I've always had very polite subscribers. It's not like they're mad at you or anything, but I mean, I guess they're a little disappointed. You can kind of sense the disappointment. Like they'll say, "Oh, this was a nice video, but I really liked your sewing videos, and could you please do more?" Really sweetly asking you to please do more sewing, and inside their heads they're thinking, "Bummer, she uploaded her dog." I mean, so I started to feel very constrained on that channel. I said, I cannot upload and disappoint people with my family videos, And then I started having, I always had kind of little problems in my marriage, but they started, somewhat around the time I started uploading the videos. By coincidence, my marriage was really starting to get difficult to remain in. And so I started, looking for relaxation videos on my own, because I watch YouTube videos a lot too. And over the months, and then I was going through the divorce, and I eventually discovered the ASMR community. And I said, "Oh, this is really nice. Wow, it's just somebody doing an eye exam, but it's so relaxing." I didn't know why. I don't necessarily think I feel those tingles that people describe, but I do find them relaxing. They're talking, and you're checking your eyesight or whatever they're doing, putting your makeup on, and I really started to enjoy those role play ASMR videos. That was my relaxation. So I started watching those a lot, and then I started saying, "Oh, I feel like doing some of these because these are cool." So then there was my problem. I had my YouTube about sewing, but I wanted to do an ASMR video, and I always felt every time I wanted to upload a video, I would disappoint my viewers, and so that's why I opened this other channel, this one that I'm on now, the Susurro Whisper, because I said, okay, that will be the sewing channel, and I'll have a new channel just for whatever I feel like doing. So again, I uploaded 1 or 2 ASMR videos because that's what I happened to be interested in at the time. And then I guess there are a lot of ASMR people, so people started subscribing, and I said, "Oh no, here we go again." Because I have other interests too. I didn't only want to do ASMR. I wanted to do some ASMR, some family stuff, some, whatever. This was intended to be the channel of just, doing whatever I felt like. So for example, the other day I understand, I understand where the viewers are coming from, but some of you may have watched it, my lab rat article about the lab rats with telepathy. Obviously, it's not relaxing, and so and it wasn't even soft spoken. And then I got really, because that's another of my interests, is the stock market. I love watching the stock. I'm not rich off it. I dabble a little bit. I've never gotten rich off it. I've never lost too much either. It's, I try to pick just sort of stocks that are, companies that are pretty strong, and your stocks hold their value. Then they go up, they go down. Sometimes you make some money and you can sell and have a little extra cash. And, that's about as much as I know about the stock market. I'm not one of those things. But I've been reading in the past few weeks a lot, the Wall Street Journal, the Financial Times. I've always looked on the internet for stocks. I'm a member of Investopedia, which is like a encyclopedia for stocks. You learn a lot. It's a learning website. And those are all things that I was thinking about sharing. I said what little I know about the stock market, maybe people want to know a little bit about what it's like, without getting too detailed into the analysis and of the stocks and all that. Just basically what little I know and what experiences I've had, and So I was thinking of starting to read interesting articles from the Wall Street Journal and the Financial Times, or anything interesting that I find about the stock market that maybe will be useful to someone who, basically someone who knows absolutely nothing will learn something from me, because I know very little, but I know a little more than someone who knows nothing. But so now I'm thinking maybe I have to open another channel to do all my stock things. And I like to look at stocks, and I was thinking of maybe doing where, like, from week to week we'll look at a particular stock, or a few particular stocks, and look at them from week to week. Look, this week it's down, and this is what happened in the company. There was a merger, so this went up, and so people can kind of see how the market is affected by just the news and the everyday decisions of people and boycotts, and how they directly affect the market. And that will somehow make you understand how the stock market, the very basics again, how it works. But it's very interesting. It sounds boring when you don't know anything about it, but it's really interesting how one thing that happens, an oil spill, for example. You look at the stock the day before an oil spill, and it's a certain price. Then there's an oil spill, the price changes. Then there's a cleanup effort, the price changes again. So it's extremely interesting how much our economy is affected by just whatever happens. And not even something as large as an oil spill. It could be anything. I mean, any little thing could happen, and it affects, anything in the news. You look at it, and it affects the stock price of something. So, just think that's just something that's interesting to me, that I was thinking, like even that article that I read about the lab rats, which I apologize, is some people maybe did think that was kind of yucky. I know rats and telepathy, it's all kind of weird. It's true. But that is in the the Financial Times, the Wall Street Journals. They have regular news in there, everyday news, because that is news that does affect the stock of something. That might affect a certain company's stocks, that they've discovered that they're able to get these. I mean, rats with telepathy, maybe not so interesting. People, because of course, we start with lab rats and we translate that. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going off on the tangent on that topic, but it's interesting. It's so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Maybe I'll open another channel and just leave this for my rambling and my. I wasn't planning to do a lot of ASMR videos. My intention was to do some ASMR, and I named the channel an ASMR name, Susurro Whisper, granted, because that's what I happened to be interested in at the time. I don't know. What am I talking about? So, and I'm no good at ASMR, if you'll notice. I start rambling low voice, and I start to get loud, because I'm a person that, see, now I'm concentrating about keeping my voice down, but I forget, especially when I'm rambling. I forget that I'm not naturally that way. So, people are going to think I'm a farce, I'm a false advertising. I'm acting like I'm an ASMR channel, and I'm not even a calm person. So here I am rambling again, and I want to keep rambling. Well, I guess I have so many things going in my head. I'm never calm, ever. I'm never calm. It's like I'm the opposite of what an ASMR person, like someone making ASMR videos, I'm the opposite of what a person making ASMR videos should be naturally. I was really good with my pink and white show and tell, which is on my other channel. I couldn't upload it to this channel before because it was too long, and this was a new channel. I worked really hard on that video, and I was very careful to remain calm throughout. And actually maybe doing the show and tell, and I showed you this thing, and this is pink, and it's this color, and this is what it does, and maybe the show and tell would be a way that I could actually remain calm, because I think that's what I'll do. For my next video, I'll do a show and tell. Somebody suggested to me that I do a show and tell of memories, of things that I have that have memories for me and from my past and stuff. Unfortunately, and I thought that was such an awesome idea. If the person who suggested that is listening, here's my problem. I have moved so much from here to there. I moved to Argentina. When I was in Argentina, I moved 3 times to different houses. With each move, I started misplacing things and losing things, and I moved back to the U.S. and I don't have any really old memory things around. I mean, I might have a few things I could dig up, but I don't really have anything that I've had a long time, except maybe my dog. He's almost 15. Maybe he's 14 or 15, but that's like the oldest thing I own. I could probably dig up some things. I'm sure I have some little things laying around. I'm going to dig up a few things and try to do that idea that the lady had. She said, she suggested I do a show and tell of things from my life, and that hold memories for me. But my dog is sick on top of that. I couldn't put him on the camera anymore. He's so skinny, and I'm so upset because he's still eating, he's still walking, but I don't know if he's barely there. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to think about it, but I don't know. I probably going to have to face making a decision soon about him. I'm, of course, putting it off. And I know I apologize. I know many of you don't agree with euthanizing, but I don't either, except under the condition that the dog is very ill and is suffering, which, that's the thing. I don't think he's suffering quite completely, but he's definitely not enjoying life. He's like, everything's an effort for him. To get up, it hurts. I give him aspirin. He's got like some arthritis. He's got liver problems, and there's really nothing that can be done. He's old. I mean, basically, sure, you could spend a lot of money on these treatments that might, they're not going to make him live any longer. And I don't know. I'm unfortunately not at a point where I can spend a lot of money. Although I love him, but I cannot afford to go into debt. I'm already in debt. It's just another... I'm sorry. I shouldn't share this. I'll probably cut this part out. But anyway, he's here next to me. He's still with me. And I'm happy about that. So I just do what every day I hug him and kiss him and help him. I give him a little aspirin so he doesn't have as much pain with his arthritis. And and it's cold. He's a hairless dog on top of that. It's cold outside, so to take him out to go wee-wee, he suffers because he starts trembling. I have a jacket, of course I put clothes on him and stuff, but he's still cold. I mean, he's so skinny now that he's cold no matter what. I mean, even when he's inside and it's warm, and he's got a blanket on and the clothes, sometimes he's shivering. So it's not the best time of year for him to be like this. If I hold on a little longer, maybe the warm weather will come and he won't, maybe he'll be better off and he can last a little longer. But so that's what I'm dealing with. And I still miss my ex, in spite of the fact that we've been divorced I've been separated almost 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in June. And I still, it's weird. It's weird getting divorced. It's weird because you still love the person, sort of, in a way. You love what you remember the good times were. But you can't be with that person because he's not right for you. So that's that. And I probably never should have married. If I'd have been smart, I would have done like my brother did. He went to pre-marital counseling. Before he got married, he went to marital counseling with his wife to be prepared for what was to come. And I guess they discussed financial things and how to raise children and decision making and things you don't think about when you're head over heels in love. You think about, I love this person, and just like in my case, I fell in love. I was pressuring myself to get married, but I also loved the person, obviously, and I just dove right in. It's like I was older. I figured I know what I'm doing. I'm in my 30s. Come on. And that was like so irresponsible after all. And when I saw my brother before he got married like over 10 years, a long time ago, like 15 years ago. His daughter's 17, so wow, it's going to be 20 years, I guess, at some point soon. When I saw them going to pre-marital counseling, I was like, OMG. I was like, that's so unromantic. Come on. I was like, yeah, that's going to last, I was thinking, they're not in love. They're going to pre-marry. When you're in love, you just get married. That was my opinion back then. And no, as it turns out, you're better off not being so head over heels romantic about it. It can still be romantic, but it's probably wiser to go in with a little premarital counseling. Because when it gets to the point where you have to go to marital counseling after the fact, like a lot of stuff is already messed up and it may not be salvageable. Because I went to marital counseling with my ex when he was still my husband. And I'll admit it helped. It helped us hang on longer than we would have hung on, probably. But it was sort of like making an old car run. It's like it's going now because it's gotten a little bit of tune-up, but it's dying. It gets to a point whereas if we had, both been more intelligent, we wouldn't have done what we did. We would have gone to premarital counseling and been less romantic about it. And then there was the added stress of the stepchildren that, it's not their fault, obviously, but it certainly they were teenagers. They're difficult to deal with. For a biological parent, it's difficult. And I was even sort of resenting that, gosh, I'm not even their biological mother, and I have to put up with their back talk and their, natural things that teenagers do, So, and then we had economical problems because we weren't on the same page about saving. I'm more of a conservative when it comes to economy. I think, okay, we shouldn't be spending on all kind of frivolous things. We should be saving up for when we're old. We should be trying to buy ourselves a house so we can, that was my thinking. And his thinking was the opposite. It was just, you only live once. Let's enjoy life. Let's, splurge. And we would get into a lot of arguments over that. And there's a lot of things. How to raise kids. Even though they weren't my kids, I had a certain perception about how children should be raised. And he was a little bit more lenient about it. And then, of course, when the kids started having problems and this or that, I blamed him, he blamed me. It was just too much stuff. I didn't marry the right person for me. He was probably the right person for someone else, and I'm the right person for someone else. But yeah. So anyone who isn't married yet, but you are in love, go to premarital counseling. That's like the only, if you're not a religious person, because churches will often do that. But if you go to a church or the temple or whatever religion you follow, they usually give it a religious twist. That it's based in God and all that, which is great. I mean, but if you're someone who's not religious, maybe you would go to a marriage therapist, even though you're not married yet. A marital therapist can also prepare you for marriage. But it's definitely worth the investment. Spend a few extra bucks, go to 3-4 sessions. I'm not saying you gotta go for years, and just say we're here to prepare for marriage because we're in love. We want to make sure we've got all the basics in place, and try to be more objective about it, because this is someone you're going to spend the rest of your life with, hopefully. And it's painful if it doesn't work out, because you think about all the time that you spent with the person, and then you think, wow, we blew it. I don't know, it's hard to explain unless you've been through it. So that's my cross to bear now. And I'm not completely separated in my head from him. He's got a girlfriend. He's had a girlfriend for over a year already, I mean, a few months after we split, it's fine. He started dating. That was kind of difficult for me too, which shouldn't be. I left him. We were separated, getting divorced. There's no reason why he shouldn't be dating again, but it bothered me, and maybe it's because I didn't find someone else that quick. But I still kind of feel like he's my husband, even though he's not. It's like a part of you is still married, even though you're divorced. And I'm relieved in a way that I'm divorced. I mean, it's definitely less stressful being divorced from him. I've got some financial problems now because of the divorce, but I mean, we were having financial problems when we were married. So I get that's nothing new, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe if I would have gotten divorced earlier, before the marriage therapy, because the marriage therapy, I think, probably made us hang on another 5 years, to be honest. We went to marriage therapy like a long time, and that kept us hanging on, and I wanted it to work, but I don't know, I guess he did too, but he wanted me to change to be like, we had to meet in the middle, and I did. I felt I felt I was compromising to meet him in the middle, but I didn't feel he was compromising to meet me in the middle. And again, maybe he was thinking the same. Maybe he felt that he was compromising to meet me in the middle, and he felt that I wasn't doing enough. So there's still that problem, so it's just a mess. I don't know how people stay together. I honestly don't know how some people do it. It's so difficult. Anyway, I always end up with depressing endings. I'm sorry.